Hello, and welcome to the Communication Commission meeting for August 13th, 2014. We are meeting now at 5 p.m., so for people who are not aware, it's a new time. It's a little earlier. Hopefully you'll be able to join us and give us any input that you feel we need. Thank you so much. All righty, we're calling the meeting to order at 5:05 p.m. All righty. Has everybody looked at the agenda? May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, Lauren made the motion and Richard second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Motion passes. All righty, now we have the minutes from June 11th, 2014 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? Any corrections or additions? No. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. The motion has passed. Great. We're moving right along. All righty. Reports of boards and standing committees. Our Cable Department Supervisor, Mr. Fournier.
Good evening. I apologize for my voice. Good work in the Junior League World Series this week. The voice is going quickly. I got 3 more games to last this week. So, what's been happening since we last saw you in June? Probably the most important thing we've done is we're working with the police again. We've done 3 segments on gun safety that have been running. We've also done one on the reserve group. Yeah, that came out pretty good. But the best one we did it the last Thursday this month in July, and we went with the Downriver Rescue Team to the part of the Trenton Channel just behind Portofino's, and we did taped one of their workout sessions or practice sessions, and we actually outfitted the divers with the GoPro, and so we got some great footage of them collecting bottles that we think came from Prohibition and down there in the river, along with a bunch of other stuff. And it just so happened it was the Thursday before the Lake Erie water scare, and the deeper we got in the river, the greener the water got. And the water was pretty blue when we got into the river, and then the deeper the diver went, the greener the water got. So we are going to take I think we got about 50 minutes of footage of them underwater, and what we are basically going to do, we're editing down to a piece where those of you who have AT&T on some of their 100, 200, 300 channels, they show pieces with music underneath it, kind of a pictorial travelogue type pieces. So we're going to put probably close to half an hour of underwater footage from the Trenton Channel together to some music, so people can basically see what's underneath there. So we want to thank the dive team for helping us out, but it was a pretty good shoot. Chief Porcerelli, as always, headed the shoot, and Todd Brozak, I've known him for a while. I forgot the name, but Todd heads the Downriver team. Grosse Ile is involved with the surrounding communities on this, but Grosse Ile is the lead community, so we went with them. That was kind of an interesting shoot, so that'll be coming up, if not this weekend, probably next weekend.
How far down did they go? How far?
I think they said 27, 28 feet.
Okay, because it can go about 180.
It was interesting the deeper it got, and it was that weekend, the greener the water got.
Yeah.
So they picked a bunch of stuff off the bottom of the river, and they bring stuff up with them. And they have bags and stuff that they bring things up. They found a rowing medal with the ribbon still on it, and the reason we knew it wasn't our camera changing pictures is because the rowing medal held the same color. I think it was bronze, and everything else around it was getting greener and greener. So it was kind of interesting.
Are you going to take the bottles over to the Historical Society?
I am. I was told that one of the divers. I'm not sure from what community collects these kind of things.
Oh, I understand.
And they weren't sure, but they identified them as, 30s and 40s
Yeah.
and Prohibition type bottles. So
A lot of the
I-
divers, they bring them into this, I've been there when they brought them in, but everybody's got their own collection.
That was probably the most interesting thing we've shot. The second interesting thing that's probably more practical to our citizens was we have put together, I think we're up to 25 now, videos on a YouTube channel, Grosse Ile Township. And so not only can you get the meetings now on Granicus, we are putting more and more videos on the YouTube channel. And that came from a brainstorm with a bunch of the college kids that said, why aren't you doing this, Ted? And I know Uda has asked me on a number of occasions. So Jackie Rooney, who is a communications major at St. Mary's University, spent 2 weeks, and she worked real hard and got us 25 videos on YouTube and taught me how to do it. So most of the concerts and non-meeting videos that we do now we'll just put straight up to that YouTube channel.
Will you also have it in Granicus?
I've been keeping Granicus mostly meetings, but I could put them up there.
The only reason being, as we all know, Egypt got rid of YouTube, and a couple other of the Eastern countries just dropped it. They just dropped it when they didn't like what was being put up there. So, we have no control over YouTube. We have control
until
over
there's a military coup here on the island, which
yeah.
I think
Well,
Lauren would stop somehow.
Well, whatever. You don't know if it's a sale or whatever. Just know that we have no control. So if we only have it there and we don't have it backed up, we have an issue.
We'll work on it. We don't have it presently.
So are you going to be putting all the special programming on there, and could you put a
we've
link on the
we've gotten all the
website?
Island Fest stuff. We put this year's Island Fest. We put another project we've done all summer. We've been going down and getting all the concerts on the Commons. We've been putting all those up. We're putting all the police videos up there. We put the Voight's Bridge documentary that we did up there. We put the police documentary on the 100 years of services up there. And I think we put up the Veterans Day ceremony. All the stuff that we'll do for the centennial celebration will go up there. So basically that's anything. What's making it easy now is none of our stuff is touching tape.
Right.
Right. We were recording mostly on SD cards, and then we can go edit it without touching tape, and then it's a file.
Right.
And once it's a file, it's very simple to add it to other places. So technology is making it easier to put it in many places. So it shows on the channel. You want it backed up on Granicus. And
I'm old school.
Well, if you have the original file, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily need a backup on Granicus.
in fact, it's now getting to be, if I put it on DVD, it's out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
I got a request from one of the musicians this week to put some stuff on DVD.
What is the official name of our YouTube?
Grosse Ile Township.
Is that
Grosse Ile, one word, Township.
someplace on?
On YouTube, just
No, on.
you can get to it from the GITV page.
Okay.
On the new website, it'll be on the front page.
Yes, that's what I was getting.
Yes, and I'm
Okay.
sure you'll be talking about that. Okay, that's two things. I also want to mention that we're in the process now in this month and next month of some personnel changes. Two of my outstanding employees, Megan Kittle and Megan Mitchell, are going to college. I've got another source. The Trenton Video class is a good source of people. They have a lot of people that they train in school for a whole year. So I have a new lady, Jessica David, that's starting. Also, that I've been working the last almost 3 years with Maria, from the producer from Riverview, and she informs me that next month she is leaving the country to go to Russia to teach English. So my Riverview connection is going down, and another gentleman I've hired that's been working with me, actually this is his second year, is Kieran O'Connor, has worked a couple meetings and will be working now that he's back from his world travels. He's been working with me a couple times just through the...
Could you just, sorry about that. You gave us Megan Mitchell. Can you give me the name of the other?
Megan Knittel, Knittel. Knittel. Lady that's done extraordinary. She's just a fantastic editor, but she'd rather be a doctor or a psychiatrist than a video editor, so I'm losing her.
Did Maria finish her movie?
That I don't know. I know the movie. The purpose of the movie was to get her a scholarship to go to a university in Czech Republic, and I'm not sure if that's going forward. I just know that she's going to somewhere in Russia to teach English.
Wow.
So, trying to think of what else we've been up to. We're in the process of putting together a, I guess not a brochure, but one of the things that we have is a how to do a meeting, all the directed, step by step, so somebody could almost come in cold and turn things on in sequence.
Oh, great.
And we had it with the old equipment. And now that we got the new equipment, we're not only going to write it down, it's going to have a lot of pictures, so some people that can't read too good, like maybe myself, could look at the pictures and know what to do. So that's about 3/4 done. I mentioned YouTube.
The inventory.
Inventory I'll give you right here. That's done.
Good.
And I'm not sure coming up. Our next shoot is going to be with the police again on the 27th of August. It's going to be starting with dispatch. We're going to kind of reenact a call, exactly what all goes into a police call, starting with the dispatch and the police going out. So it's going to be pretty entailed. That'll be the 27th. And then we plan on, as soon as the plans are finalized for the centennial celebration, covering that in the near future. There's also a special project coming up Saturday the 23rd. One of I think the class of 1964 at Grosse Ile High School is going to be doing something special, maybe at Kroger's, but I can't tell you. And we are going to do, they're going to break out into a flash mob, is that what it is?
Yeah.
And we are going to, I haven't got with the young lady to cover that, but we're going to try to figure out how we can document that and show that. That's coming up the 23rd. What time, I can't tell you, and exactly what's happening, I can't tell you. But that's going to be a project that we're going to work on.
That's for August 23rd? Or September?
Saturday, August 23rd.
Okay.
Is that it?
Let me give you this.
Thank you, Ted. All righty, everybody gets one. Thank you. And we can get this electronically too if we need it, correct?
Well, it's on my computer.
Right. Good. Any idea what it's all worth?
Yeah. This is great for insurance purposes.
I have no idea. This is all the working equipment. We have
a few extras.
Stuff that's not working sitting back there too.
Now, with that working or equipment that's not working, is that something that we can dispose of?
Most of the stuff that's not working would cost more than it's worth.
Okay.
So a lot of times when I check on the stuff that's not working, I get to use it as a boat anchor answer.
Right. Dump the junk,
Yeah,
Woody.
so you got to remember what we've done over the years. A lot of some of this equipment, like monitors and stuff, are 25 years old. Some of the stuff that's sitting back there is just that we have changed systems. When we upgraded the equipment, the old equipment is back there. We have the camera system that we took out of here that was working. I've gotten an offer for the 3 cameras at $2,000, but in my mind, they're worth more than that. So the offer came from the company that
Okay.
knew that we had them because they
Right.
put in the new one, and they had somebody they were going to sell it to already. So
Can you put them on eBay?
yeah, that's probably what we're going to do. We're going to look at eBay. We're going to see if we can get any use out of them, and if not, we'll put them on eBay. I've got the old equipment that we used to put everything in the racks. I still got to get rid of those. So we haven't looked to get rid of them. We've been working on other stuff, but this fall and winter, I'm sure we'll start cleaning everything out.
Ted, is that something that they could, I mean, I know it's older equipment, but is that something they could use at the schools in one of their classes, maybe at the middle school, or?
I haven't talked to the superintendent. I talked to Tony Krakowski one time about it, and they were mildly interested, but it depends on how much money they'd have to put in to install it and stuff like that, and they are really reluctant to spend money on that right now. So
On a similar note, a lot of the island churches are also getting involved more in videography and technology at services.
if
we can
anybody's
spread the
interested,
word.
I can
Yeah.
put a notice up if anybody wants to come and look at it. We have the cable, and I do not know. We have the CCUs and the cameras, what the installation costs, and remember, these are 15-year-old cameras.
Yeah.
Some of these cameras are cheaper now than,
Yeah.
one of those cameras at one point were at $20,000. It's like we still have, we had the Barco projectors over there that we paid. We got them at half price, and they were $20,000, and then 6 years later, we couldn't get, $200 for them, and the light bulbs were costing us $800 a
Right.
year for each one of them. So the technology is, and just not to, and I don't know anything more than what Kathy told me last night. She was researching a new item that I never had heard about, K4, were you telling?
K4, I
which
couldn't
is
believe
another step beyond high definition. So the next technology is already coming out.
The new GoPro has it, and not that I need another new GoPro, but
But I also wanted to say, Ted, I thought it was kind of cool. Recently, in the last month, we had a tour at the DSO at Orchestra Hall, and they now do live webcam presentations from concerts. And the cameras they have on their stage or above the stage are very similar, if not the same, to these. And I immediately saw that, and I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. That this is the wave of the future, so to speak. So,
Well, this is quote unquote state of the art
State-of-the-art.
yesterday.
yeah.
Well-
Every time you buy something, it's state of the art. Right now, like I told you, I'm working the World Series. We're webcasting the World Series on one camera.
Yeah.
And throughout the world. But anything's possible. That's high schools right now are starting to webcast. There's rules from the state of Lansing on how things that we used to be able to do free. Now you have to pay state in Lansing, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, to do. I used to be able to do playoff games for $50 or $75. It's now $150 to $200 to do the same playoff games for high school sports. And then there's a lot of high schools webcasting all their games on cable, and there's fees for that. So the technology is just leaping off the table.
capitalism is catching up to technology, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I've noticed that some high schools actually have sponsors for their football teams too.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can. The possibilities are endless if the high schools want to do that. They can get sponsorships and banners and, up north, when I worked up north years ago, the high schools brought, radio cast their games, and they all had sponsors, local sponsors. So that's all possible. It's up to the high school if they want to do that.
Right.
So.
Well, just to tell everybody, I don't know if anybody knows about the 4K. I didn't. For every pixel you see now at 1080, it would be 4. And it's a magnificent picture. I mean, it's amazing. I was like shocked because I thought, oh, I don't need that. And then I saw it and I thought, I need that. I need that. Yeah, I think I'm going to buy it. When is that going on sale? But I mean, and he said that this is the future. Some of the TVs now have it. And in 5 years, all of them will be this 4K. So something I didn't know about, but we keep learning.
There were two other things I wanted to mention, and one of the things we've been spending a lot of time at Kathy's insistence has been keep reviewing the old web page and getting rid of pages and checking the links, and we making sure the site map was right and correct, so that as you guys will discuss later on, that I guess we probably be a couple weeks before we have class, or is that a month down the road?
It's a few, at minimum 3 weeks, maybe 4.
In conjunction with that, I've also contacted Granicus, because when we go to the new webpage, I've been holding off all year. We're going to redesign the archive page so it's streamlined. There'll be all the years will be listed, and you'll click on the year, and then the meetings, the possible categories for that year will come up, and then you can click on, say, township, and then you'll get a menu will drop of all the township meetings. So the page will look a lot streamlined. You won't have, I think there's 150 or 200 meetings listed now on the Granicus page. That'll all be streamlined, but we can't do that until the inner page was designed. And they once we give them the inner page, it's going to take 3 weeks for them. And then we also have to do that with Minutes on Demand and the BSNA page. So that we've been working with setting those things up. And then the last thing, the Granicus representative is in the state on the week of the 25th of August, and he's going to stop in here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and any issues that we have with Granicus and anything that I'll be talking with him on the 27th of August. So that's coming up.
Now they will, all these vendors will accommodate our font and our color scheme and everything for the pages.
They make the page look exactly like the rest of the pages, only they are hosting that page.
Right.
So we're not hosting those 2 or 3 pages. I think it's 4 actually, 2 with Granicus, 1 with Minutes on Demand, and 1 on the other. So
BSNA.
But they make the page look exactly like our webpage, and
Great.
So.
Would everybody, if you're done,
Yeah.
would anybody mind if we have a guest who? Would you like to have public comment?
No,
If you don't mind?
actually, I want to wait till your old business gets done.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Thanks.
All righty. Our liaison, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you. A couple of things real briefly. One is the Red Cross is actually at the Public Safety Building today until 6:45, so if you get a chance, go donate. The hospitals are actually at a critical level right now where they are suspending surgeries.
Wow.
So every pint of blood helps.
And I think you have to be under 60 to give.
I'm not sure. You'd probably have to go check out the Red.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I understand that. But that's something for people to know, because a lot of times they'll go and they'll be
Right.
turned away,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Also, Ted, I did want to thank you for producing the Tim Rooney farewell video that was presented. I thought that was a very nice touch and a classy thing to do. So I know that fellow board members expressed that to me. So thank you.
Well, I got a lot of help from his wife. Sent me a lot of the pictures.
Yeah.
And his daughter, actually, Jackie, the communications, she came in and did a lot of the editing. So it was,
Yeah.
I kind of helped her along, but she did most of the work.
It was cute. The last thing is I just want to remind everybody that the Centennial Celebration is taking place on Saturday, October 11th from 1 to 9 on Macomb Street. There's going to be a lot going on, so save the date.
Okay, thank you. All righty, the chairman's report. We've been busy. We've been busy working on the interpage, going over it and over it and over it till my eyes are crossed. And everybody's been participating beautifully. And we will have a vote later. We'll have a motion and a vote to officially approve the interpage. That way there'll be no question, because we did get a little pushback from Revise that they wanted to make sure everyone was in agreement. And I don't think that will be a problem. One of the things, let's see, the status of the webpage. Let me go through what we think will be the timing. As our liaison has asked before, once we approve the inner page, it's about 2 weeks for the artwork, to finish the artwork. Then there's about 2 weeks for the migration. The training for 8, which we have already received from Mr. Ream, thank you. They will come to Grosse Ile, and they will train 8 people so that they can be interactive in the content management. And
You're going to be a part of that, right?
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I will not be one of the trainees, but I definitely will be there every minute. And let's see, what else? And then we'll launch the customization of the interpage per department with 3 to 5 weeks, because the people have to do the work to make it in. I think it's going to be a quick learning curve, but still a learning curve for everybody, because no 8 people write the same, no 8 people display things the same or have the same sensibilities. So that will be, we'll be doing a lot of monitoring on that. Then we'll be beta testing, which everybody will be involved with, I hope. 2 to 4 weeks. We can do it quicker, depending on how hard we work. But we want to test every link. We want to minimize any problem. I hate to say we want it to be perfect, because there's always going to be a flaw, but we don't need anybody saying, "Didn't you look at that?" So if we can do that, it would really be helpful. So moving right along on that, that's where we're at on the webpage. But when we get done, it should be lovely, and I think everybody will be pleased. Hopefully they will be. Okay.
So, sorry, Madam Chair. Adding all that time up, what does the approximate date look like, just to put into the minutes?
2, 4.
Don't do it.
Okay, we won't do it.
Do it. Let's keep ourselves to something.
Okay, finish date to be determined.
Anytime you give a date, it's held against you. So.
It's
Okay.
true. It'll
Oh,
be
you're
in
right.
October. In
Add the word
October.
ISH after any date.
Yes. But we're going to push. God knows we've been pushing as it is. And that's all I have to say on that. But I do want to take a personal note. When Ted was talking about the police bailed my husband and my butt out the other day, and I want to thank them publicly. We locked our keys in the car. They came and helped us, and it definitely saved my marriage. So I want to thank everybody for that. The police were wonderful on Grosse Ile. Okay. The status of the progress, we've done the inner page. Has everybody looked at the inner page repeatedly? And could I have a motion for approval of the inner page, please?
I'll make the motion for approval.
And do we have a second?
Okay, hold on one second.
Richard?
Richard Nielsen, motion.
I'll second.
Jerry Page, second.
All in favor?
Whoa, we need language.
Ah,
To approve, just to approve the inner page as presented?
as presented and as reviewed by the entire commission, with all of their input back and forth,
And approved. How about we add reviewed
Yes.
and approved by entire commission?
Could you read that back?
So I have Richard Nielsen motion, Jerry Page second, to approve the inner page as presented, reviewed, and approved by the entire commission.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? And we have approval. I will contact them tonight and tell them to move ahead. So that's great. Okay.
Hey, let's take a breath.
Yay!
Well done, Madam Chair.
Well, it has been a slow process, and everybody's been very involved, and I appreciate everybody's involvement and input, because I think we got a better product because of that. It's nobody's page, it's the township's page.
I was wondering if we're going to be getting this software for the editing for the for the webpage.
Not till it's done. Not till it's done. Then we can, once we get the training in, that's when we have the editing capabilities.
And do you know if that software is going to be using ActiveX?
I don't know,
Okay.
but I will know by tomorrow. I'll follow up on that. Okay. All righty. New business? None? Old business. The old business is I got a bid from another vendor. We've been doing this all the years over the past year from Skyweb regarding Wi-Fi for the Water's Edge Complex Farm and Commons. It's not completed yet, but it's significantly reduced from the previous bid we had. Now, dollars to dollars and item to item, we haven't gone through it yet, but I thought you always want more than one bid. We still have a couple questions, and Ted, I asked you about one of them. Did you happen to follow up about the police for the Commons area? Okay. What we've been trying to do, at least get the Commons, and as you know, I was trying to get somebody to do it pro bono, which is always a better way. Unfortunately, that hasn't panned out yet. The gentleman is too busy. So I asked what it would cost just to do the Commons, because there's a lot of things going on. They need a straight line connection, and if the police have Wi-Fi, which I assume they do. Can you answer that, Ted? Yes or no? You can't. Okay, if they do have it, and I would assume they do, if they could get something straight lined out there and see what it would cost in a minimum amount and pursue that further. But that's where we're at. We're still needing that one piece, and the new bid has come in the other day. So now that we've presented the old business, is there any public comment or question? Please say your name.
Hello, everybody. Walt Ketcher, Hazelnut Court, Groseville. I want some clarification on this Wi-Fi project that you have for Water's Edge Complex, the farm, and the Commons. Is this something that is being directed by you guys, that you guys will be covering all costs?
No. What we're doing is just getting information. As we talked about it, and I presented it last year, and we had one bid, and it was very extraordinary. I was out one day, and I got a call. It was the day of Island Fest, and I got a cold call from this company, and I thought, I was going to volunteer at Island Fest, and I didn't have a lot of time. So the guy said, "Hey, I'm on the island. Can I meet with you?" And I said, "I'll take a bid from anybody. Why not?" So they gave the bid, and they never followed up. I never pursued it, and about, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks after that, one of the president showed up on my boat, because he has a boat where we have a boat, and we had a problem with our Wi-Fi. And I never said anything. I just sat there. And finally, after about 45 minutes, because the Wi-Fi didn't work, which told me, why pursue this? So I said, you know who I was, and I said, you never did give me a bid. And they said, oh, is that who you are? I said, yeah. I said, your guy came. He said he was going to give us a bid in 2 days, and I was going to disseminate it. Never got it. So he said, okay, I'll give you a bid. Another couple weeks. So finally we got something. He needed some information. I said, okay. And just the other day, we just got this, and I needed some more information. I asked Ted for it, and we haven't gotten any further. But we were just going to collect the information. And I've talked to Tom a few times, because he said, we'd like to have something at the Commons. I said, well, if we can get something for free, let's do it. But that's where we're at. It was one of those cold calls out of the blue. I had no idea why this man was even on the island, because I had a half hour to give him before I went to Island Fest to donate my time.
Well, the reason why I bring it up is because recreation, we really have no need to do something like the Wi-Fi in these areas. With the surrounding communities be able to come in and live around at the farm or even at the marina, it's just anti-recreation. We want people to get out there and use our facilities, not sit in front of an iPad. So, I don't want this commission to waste any time, on behalf of recreation, if that's what we think, for the farm or Water's Edge facilities for Wi-Fi. And flatly, we don't have the funds, when you presented us before to
Right.
do this. If the commission wants to do this and it's being dictated by, the board or something like this, that they want to Wi-Fi certain areas, then that's fine, But I just want to make sure this commission's aware that we ain't got the money, to pursue something like this.
We talked about that, and like I said, this was a cold call. I've never met these people before, and it was really shocking that, where did this
Okay.
come from? And they were hitting all of the marinas on the island. Somebody had met them at a boating thing, and I said, well, did you get into Ford? No. Did you get into, I kept asking them all the names, and I said, well, how did you get my name? And I found out that I was referenced, and I said, okay, I'll take a bid. Because we had
I'll bite, right?
Well, here's the thing, wouldn't you? I mean, we had a $10,000 bid that everybody went no. Well, we also had a full marina last year that we don't have now, and let's face it, Wi-Fi is becoming everywhere. And if we could get something for very reasonable, and maybe have somebody else do pro bono, or we have perhaps the Downtown Development Authority, maybe they would like to get involved, purchasing a little bit of the Wi-Fi for the Commons area. I don't know. But if we don't have a bid, we can't move forward on anything. We can't do anything. And since they were here, it took them a while. Like I said, it was like 6 weeks, and I never said a word.
Well, I realize bids don't hurt nobody to see what's
No.
out there. And like this,
And we're
I just wanna
still
be
not-
clear, though,
no.
the monies, though, I mean,
No,
really,
I understand that.
Our budget's on a shoestring budget as it is, so.
But we still have one more piece before we can even talk to them. And like I said, the biggest thing, when I mentioned it to Tom, because Tom said, it would be really nice to have it in the Commons. I said, that would be the goal. Start in the Commons, and then if the people like it, eventually, let's be honest, Wi-Fi is going to be everywhere. It's going to be in the community. It's at Kroger's. It's at every little place. Every place I go to, and I think we all can say, we pull up our phones, and when you get it at Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and all that. We will have it here eventually. Just like the marina, every other marina has it. I don't think we'll be the only marina to not have it, because you want to encourage people to come, especially transient dockage.
We want people to recreate.
Well, yeah, but honestly, every single marina that I am familiar with, and I'm familiar with a lot of them,
Well, the marina is fine because they can actually increase the cost if the rec department so chose to do so.
If it's some kind of a money stream where it pay for itself, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't be opposed to that, but just to actually have it out there.
Yeah, but the township has no way of recouping any expenses or any of the
not at all.
costs.
But we're just starting, like I said, cold call. Still got one more piece before I even could bring it to the rec, since you haven't had a meeting. I have asked Tom, you haven't had a meeting for the last month or so. And I said, as soon as I get everything, I'll bring it to you guys. But I wanted everybody to know what was going on and where it came from. But it was weird getting a cold call like that on a Friday afternoon, like at 3:30. And okay, because I'd never met the people, and I did not know that they were doing the marina at Jefferson Beach. Now, I was also told they just did DYC, and I don't know if they did Mac Ray or not, but another one. And since I wasn't real happy with the way our Wi-Fi was going for a while, I didn't say a word. I just sat there waiting. Come on, fix my Wi-Fi, guys. Because even though I recreate, I'm always, everybody uses it.
Right.
And they have a 750 slip marina, so it's a big thing to work with. And when he came on the boat and finally he told me who he was, and I waited a while, and then he said, well, by the way.
Well, how many transient docks do we have there?
Basically, I think we probably fit maybe the right size boats, maybe 3 against the wall.
Okay.
But a lot of transient boats transient boating happens when you have organized regattas. Like last week, wasn't it? Everybody.
Sure, but that's only one weekend. I mean, we have regattas every weekend over at Water's Edge. We don't have that occurrence like that.
But
I was actually at
monthly.
Sharky's that day, and there wasn't anybody that was coming in from that.
We had a couple people actually came in, and we put them in some piers. I mean, I think I actually had 2 slips, I believe, if I recall correctly, where they won for the weekend. They came in Friday, and they were gone by Sunday.
But if the organization there goes out to a regatta, which I imagine they do, that's what organizations do. They probably do 2 2 or 3, I don't know how many, but they probably do, if someone would be aware of which boats were leaving, then that you could arrange to have a group come in. And that's
West
what-
River Yacht Club is really Pier 1, and those numbers are, I don't even know what the numbers are that are at Water's Edge. Like, you can't say that it's like, half of the people that are there that are at West River Cruising Club. So you got set docks that are not going to be involved with that cruising club or that regatta.
True, but there are also people that do tell, like at a lot of marinas, if you're gone for 2 days, you have to tell the dock master how long you're going to be gone, where you have to give an itinerary, and I don't know what you do at Water's Edge because I'm not involved with
Well,
it.
that's another issue.
That's a whole other issue, but that's how you get dockage, basically. You get people to tell you where they're going, and then you fill it in, and you'd be surprised.
Well, boats have been down.
But anyways,
For me?
Yes, I have a question. No, only when you're ready.
no, I'm done. No, that's where when we need one more piece before we can even give this to you because we don't have that one piece yet. Okay.
I'm just asking, Walt, you gave your personal address, but I know you're the chair of the Rec Commission. Are you here also as a representative of the Rec Commission?
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, that's
Okay,
fine.
Great.
We've been in discussions. I don't know when we did that presentation. You gave us, 3-4 months ago, probably, or even
probably
longer?
a year.
Has it been that long?
Oh, yeah. It's been quite a while. And that's why I said, I only knew of that one marina Wi-Fi guy. This guy came out of the blue. And all I know is his dock is near us someplace at the marina. I had no idea.
Okay.
So then the Recreation Commission at this point really doesn't have an interest in Wi-Fi?
No, we haven't discussed it since Kathy really presented it, about the whole Wi-Fi issue. We got more pressing issues with maintenance, Tim Rooney leaving, finding replacements. So the priority list, is really maintaining our facilities.
Well, I guess I want to rephrase Lauren's question in just a slightly different vein. Because of the way you phrased your question, if the commission or some other source were to pay for it at Water's Edge or at the Centennial Farm, are you saying that because your main purpose and function is recreation, that you would, as a commission, probably still not be interested in pursuing Wi-Fi at these facilities?
I don't think we would definitely be jumping for joy that we got Wi-Fi. And I know people that, at least when I go on a boat, I go on a boat. I don't sit there and want to bring my iPad to a boat. If I'm going on a boat for a day, I'm doing that. Okay. People have e-book readers now and stuff like that for the pool, for moms and stuff like this. I mean, that's already downloaded and stuff. I mean, I just don't see it, But if the higher powers that be, like the board or something like this, and they say they want to have Wi-Fi common areas for Roseville residents, that's fine.
Do you know, has there been any demand at all?
I have had nothing, at least from the community members. We just 5-year plan. There was nothing about Wi-Fi in any areas that when we did our 5-year plan.
Right.
When did you do it?
Interest.
When did you do the 5-year plan?
Yeah, it would have been probably 3 years ago, probably.
Was that the 2009 one? Because that's the one I saw on the... Yeah, that's what I thought. A lot of things have changed since 2009. I'll wager to say a lot of marinas that were never going to have it, and I only know one that will probably never have it till the gentleman no longer is the owner. They are all going to it. It's like expected. In fact,
I don't even know any other communities. I mean, I don't ask. I will inquire from Wyandotte, from Riverview, to see if they have Wi-Fi in their rec areas. But I mean, once again, that's them. This is us. I mean, if you guys want to pay for it, I'll be frank. I mean, that's fine, but...
Well, if we
it's
could...
it's not really something on your horizon. It's low priority.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, it would have to be like a gift, really. I mean...
If we could get something in the common area, if we could get some donations for it, you would not be at all adverse to that.
The common area, we work with the Alliance of the Arts to do those, the concerts and stuff like that. But once again, you're there to enjoy the concerts. You're not there to put your face in a computer. I mean, maybe on a Sunday morning, whatever, if people want to do a walk or something, I don't know what the use is. I don't know really what the justification for any Wi-Fi. Like you said, are there people out there clamoring for it that they want it? Do we have to have Wi-Fi boxes along the bike path? I don't know.
I think it's just becoming an expectation that perhaps in 2009 it wasn't there. And, you know, everything's changing. I mean, look at how, we were just talking about the difference in the TVs now. I mean,
Sure,
everything's changing.
Sure, everything always evolves, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've had no one come up and say, "Well, when are you going to get the Wi-Fi over at the farm?"
Well,
you know, when are you going to get it over at the dog park? You know, when are you going to get it at the basketball court?
We've had
But-
comments about the farm. Yeah.
Maybe you guys have. They haven't come to wreck about it.
Well, that's okay. I mean, like I said, when I get this done, I will give it to you. But we don't have the last piece, so I just want to let everybody know that this is what I don't want to keep things in when somebody approaches me.
Well, like I said, my only purpose
Yeah.
of being here is just I don't want to waste your guys' time,
No.
you know, but on behalf of REC, that you're
Sure.
doing this for us. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's why I just want to make that clear.
No, and that's great. But it seemed a year ago you were a little kind of like, if we could get it, it'd be nice.
If we got it from you guys and it was mandated, yeah, that's fine. we didn't want to pay for anything. I think you came in, was it like 14 or 16,000 or something like that?
It was 10,000. That's why when this guy came in, and it was less, but again, it hasn't been compared apples to apples because we still don't have all the pieces.
Right.
Like I said, you know, it was really odd getting a cold call like that. I mean, vendors don't kind of come out of the air and grow seal, but he did. So I thought, well, what the heck? I'd be foolish not to.
It just doesn't scream, you know, come and join Water's Edge because we have Wi-Fi. You know, I just don't see how that. Come and look at your computer at, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I have to make a comment. I've been listening. I have a nephew who is.
Use your microphone, Richard.
I have a nephew who's 20 years old. I have another nephew who's 18 years old, and I have 3 nieces, and they are glued to their Wi-Fi. When they go out on my boat, they want to be able to use Wi-Fi, and they always are discouraged because it's so close to Canada. But they are totally glued to their smartphones.
It's a
All the
different
more reason
world.
to unglue them. I'm sorry, that's a matter of opinion.
Well, my kids are the same way, you know. Yeah, my kids are. I mean, come on, we all see kids at restaurants. Their faces are in the phone instead of the person
Yeah.
across the table. I totally agree with that. But
It's changed a lot since 2009, and I would imagine if we were lucky enough to find some people who wanted to support this, especially in the Commons on Macomb Street, where you have a lot of facilities. You do have electricity there, too. You know, you have the Sunday concerts. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to check your email as you're waiting?
But the Commons is not a rec. Is that
No.
under the
No, but
rec
that would-
umbrella?
that's not
No.
our charge.
That's
No,
under the
but-
DDA.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the one that
Right.
we really were talking about that would
Yeah.
could get the toehold in and see if people liked it. But again, we haven't gotten that far. We
Right.
still have that one piece. And when we get it, I will send you and Tom and, you know, for the whole commission, everything we have. But we still have one more question to answer from this thing that started. When was Island Fest? The 31st of May. So we still haven't gotten it.
Because I doubt the seniors at Nethel's group are over there clamoring at the farm to get Wi-Fi. You know,
But-
the ping pong group or anything like that.
But there are a lot of people who I've heard and Ted, I think you're very close to one of them who said, "Why don't we have Wi-Fi at Centennial Farm?"
But-
So again, it's coming. It's just maybe not today.
Kathy, if I can just step in so that, you know, because this can keep becoming a circle, I think it was very good of you to come here to tell the commission that the Rec Commission is not greatly interested in pursuing this, and that, you know, if we're only pursuing it on your behalf, you're letting us know that please don't pursue this on our behalf.
Correct.
And if, I think for this to happen, if the people that want it, they'll have to address the board, and it'll have to be a policy decision beyond this commission. And, you know, I think what Kathy is trying to do is offer access to a technology and let people know that we're prepared with information. But again, it's not our call who takes that on. And I think it's good that you continue to collect the information.
We have to collect.
Well, sure, it's your commission, yeah, absolutely.
We're
I
in
would
no
be remiss
position
if I
to
said no.
impose. We're in no position as
No.
a commission to impose this technology or this will on anybody. We're only there to do the will of the people, as you are. So I think it's fair to say if people do approach you or Ted or you, the place for us to tell them to take this conversation is to the board. if people really want Wi-Fi at rec facilities, then go straight to the rec commission and make a statement, or go to the board and make a statement.
And at least we'll have a starting point with some vendors. We have 2 now, almost, and we should at least have, I'd say 4.
Sure.
I mean, and I don't know 2 more, but...
And dealing with the rec, I mean, I really think that Wi-Fi is your guys', charge.
You
know what I
said
mean?
that the last time.
It's communication, whatever, that's part of communication, you know what I mean? So I really feel if you guys are the experts with Wi-Fi, computers, all that good stuff, we got in my opinion, too many fragmented units anyway, government, so
No, you
let's
mentioned...
uniform it together.
You mentioned that when I came, but like I said, I would be remiss not to get this
Right.
information, and when I collect it all, to bring it to you, like I said, because we still have one piece missing. And then we'll see, because eventually you'll have another 5-year plan. And as Ted can say some of the things that, you've had comments made, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, I just not to put an argument to this,
No.
but just some thoughts to think about. First of all, this is the commission. That's really our charge, and your charge is to not see what's happening, but we're the technology. We look into technology, and we have to see what's out there. And then, like I whispered in your ear, and the dinosaurs, we're losing this battle. The asteroid is hit, and we're losing the battle. And the young people, like you said, I mean, they're glued this Christmas or soon after the hot rage. These smartphones are going to be on your wrist.
Yeah.
It's Star Trek time. These are going to be coming in. iPod 6 is coming out next month, I think, and the next one is going to be so thin you can turn it like a credit card, and then you're going to have them on your wrist. And so the young generation, their computer, not their phone, their computer is right there. And you were saying, you want to recreate. Well, these people are going to have their computer while they're jogging, while they're on the boat, while they're doing, and this is the future. This is the 2020, the 2025 stuff. So this is, I think, one of the charges of this commission, to be forward-looking, not to see what the status quo is today, but to see as best as we can into tomorrow. And that's not an argument. I think that's just coming on. To answer your question, the police department has Wi-Fi.
Thank you.
I just check with the dispatch.
Then we will get that information to them, and then I'll pass it on to you guys once we have the completed package. Because and the thing is, like one of the gentlemen, and again, he's selling stuff, but he budgets at least 2 devices per person on a boat.
You have to do that. You can't.
Yeah.
If there's 50 slips, you got a budget for 200 devices, because there's iPads, iPhones. If you have 2 people, you usually have 4 devices.
Right.
People recreate in many ways now.
I can't even get
Yeah,
the staff
but-
to get emails.
Right. But if I could interject,
There's a lot of fish to fry.
once the computer is embedded into your wrist surgically, or born into your wrist, there will no longer be a need to sit on a boat, because the experience will just be implanted.
Oh, that is so sad.
We could
That is
go.
so sad.
We could go into so many arguments
Well,
over
that's not
this,
anyone saying-
and I just really want to say I think it's noble. There are places where I think Wi-Fi access is suitable and called for, and many places necessary, but it's also good to have some places free of Wi-Fi. And I think that's a debate for the community to have, with the Rec Commission when the master plan comes due. But absolutely, we just went to a camping place, and not only were we camping in the woods where people had their air conditioning running on tents, but they were also looking at their Wi-Fi and their phones instead of looking at the outdoors. It kind of made the whole exercise futile. And so you really do wonder, is a person glued to their cell phone a safe boater when they've got Wi-Fi access? So, but that's not for us to decide.
No.
We look into the technology, we get you the information, And we certainly don't shove it down your throats.
No, and I will pass this on, like I said, not a problem. And I
Just wanna
appreciate...
let you guys be-
No, and you said that last time. That's why I was kind of trying to get somebody to do the common area. I had a guy who volunteered to do it for free, and he's now so busy with his business, because to him, the economy is doing great. He said, I really can't get to it. I said, fine.
Small peanuts or something.
Well, it's a very small little thing, and I said, well, maybe I can go another venue to try to get donations just for that area, and then you guys can decide. But the one thing, and I'll leave it at that, I know that everybody has their opinion, but if you're going to be competitive, everybody's got it.
I'd like the DDA to work on that park instead of...
Well, exactly. And you bring up...
We all have
Yeah.
differences.
But you bring up competitive, that will be an issue for
Yeah.
the DDA to express
Yeah.
too, is that some of those businesses offer Wi-Fi to get clients in their doors, and they may not want us to offer it at a public park where no one's buying anything. You know, they may want you to come into the Starbucks or come into the Island Coney because you can't get it for free up the street. So that's an argument that group is going to have to address. So
Everybody's got an opinion.
cons of everything.
Yeah.
And
But
anything
anyway.
like this is going to need to be carefully thought through at any level. And I don't, I don't want to squelch any proactivity or, forward thinking. And I think, what probably needs to take place next is either, the information that you've compiled needs to go to Ted, and Ted needs to talk about it with Dale and other township department heads who some of these other areas, are affected.
That's the last piece that we just
Right.
heard.
Because, when I
there's a
look
couple-
when I look at the costs, I go, okay, but then that's just the equipment.
Yeah.
There's also monthly recurring fees that,
Yeah, but that's the insignificant amount, because I even pulled the original one from last year that I sent you, and that cost is minuscule. It's the
everybody
equip-
thinks everything's minuscule.
Yeah,
Until,
well-
as you knows, until you actually have to
Until
go
you
and
pay.
go,
You're
well,
right.
what are we cutting?
Yeah,
Where are we
yeah.
cutting?
$2 per person, heck, I got 54 slips, I got how many golfers, I got a restaurant, got a pool, basketball, volleyball, people can add up pretty quick there.
Right.
Well, and the
lot of
commission, our budget is limited, and I know there are people on this island, for instance, who are cutting out their cable to save money or as a political
It's kind of like
statement.
landlines.
So as
Yeah.
landlines disappear, as cable access disappears, so does our revenue. We don't get money on internet revenues, even through the cable company. So
Yeah, you're right.
our budget is going to be shrinking.
Well, we're
absolutely.
making a mistake here. First of all, in technology now, we can't argue last year's prices, because last year's prices, all those bids that we got 10, 12 months ago
One bid.
are null and
Right.
void. I mean, everything has changed. Couple other things to think about. Comcast is going to institute a program where all their customers are going to have Wi-Fi as part of their cluster, which will mean AT&T and WOW will follow. How much of the island that'll cover? Because if you get Wi-Fi, I know I can stay at my house and use my neighbor's Wi-Fi. So if Shark, say we're talking Water's Edge, if Sharky's in the rec center, then you have Wi-Fi at Water's Edge. Your computers at the pool are run on a Wi-Fi.
Right, just at the pool house.
So, and that's 4 or 5 years ago technology. But as Comcast and WOW and AT&T start providing Wi-Fi as part of their package, you're going to see a larger part of the island covered naturally. All right, the security on that is pretty good. So this is going to be offered. So that's one thing we have to look at. Second of all, like I was going to say, last year's prices are last year's prices, and the technology is getting better and better and better, and the prices are going down and down and down. So that factor is going to change. The last thing you were talking about, the camping. Those devices now are you call them cell phones. They're not cell phones. They're computers. They're televisions. And their communication devices. More and more, and this is going to affect us not in the real near future, but television is all going to be on your computer. And I know my grandkids do not watch television, they watch shows on their devices.
Yeah.
And that is going to affect us in the long term. So,
Prime.
Bandwidth, right?
I know us people don't want to think of going out there and putting a fire, putting your sleeping bag around, sleeping under the stars. That is never going to be camping again. You know, that'll be on Mountain Man television, something. You know, people want their computer, their television, and their communication device right here.
Well, here's an example.
Keep it there.
No, here's an
Yeah.
example. Last year, in fact, I think I sent this to you. I know I sent it to Tom, so of course I sent it to you. There were 2 state parks in the country that went with Wi-Fi because of people, keeping up. And one of them was in the state of Michigan. And I sent it to Tom because Tom is a camper. And he said, well, to be honest, when I go camping, I look for Wi-Fi. So, I mean, it's something that even the state of Michigan, and I know the state of Michigan also has it on the commuter trains now. So it's coming. It's just when and how and who's going to pay for it and what the price is.
The key is when, because 12 years ago, this commission looked at Wi-Fi
That's
in
right.
the island. Under Roger Will's idea and leadership, we looked into Wi-Fi in the island and what the cost would be, and how many different poles we'd have to build, and how many different places. And I think it was 6 or 7 different hubs we'd have to build. But we looked into Wi-Fi in the island, which was then followed by Wayne County looking to Wi-Fi the county, and Patterson was going to Wi-Fi Oakland County,
yeah.
and all these ideas kind of have dwindled. But I mean,
The
so
economy.
the when is really is what is going to be available, which is I think this commission is going to have to keep a thumb on, and when is a good time to really advance in this technology. The next key is to see what the cable companies are going to do with Wi-Fi, because if the police department has a strong enough signal and they opened it up, I don't know if they have a. Yeah, I doubt
don't
they'd
know.
open up to the public, but say Kathy's had a strong enough signal, you might be able to use their signal sitting there at the Commons. So
I know.
you're going to see more and more people Wi-Fi through their television contracts and their cable, and the coverage is going to be greater just because of that.
And you can create, if you're willing to pay for it, you can use your
T-Mobile.
smartphone as a hotspot.
Yeah.
So, and that might actually take away the whole argument. It's like if you want it and you're going to pay for it either to the marina or through your carrier, people will probably get if they're that dependent on their technology, they will probably pay for it through their carrier.
6 months from now.
Which means we might not even have to have this debate again. So it all depends on
The
way
technology
things
6
go.
months from now might change the whole debate from
Exactly.
what we're talking about
Absolutely.
tonight.
But I will tell you, about 4 or 5 years ago when they first put it in our marina, there was a charge, $35. The next year, there was no charge because they just felt to be competitive. And that was within
They
1
raised
year.
their rates somewhere.
No, actually,
you betcha,
actually,
honey.
they didn't.
Yeah, they did
Actually,
somewhere.
don't
Oil
compare private
changes,
to public.
pop, Pepsi beer delivery.
Thank you, Walt.
You're right.
It went up somewhere.
You're right.
It has
But
to
anyways,
be.
thank you for coming. And like I said, Walt, when I get the paperwork done, I'll send it to you guys. Okay? And if I get another bid on a Friday afternoon, you want me to call you to join me? If I get a cold call?
This is your area.
No, I mean, I'm happy to share those cold calls with anybody when they come out of the blue. All right. Thank you, Walt.
All right, so
Alrighty, that was interesting.
Moving forward, you're going to give it to
The rec commission.
to the rec commission.
Sure.
Okay.
And I am going to probably talk to the DDA because that's their area commons, because that would be the logical beginning step if we were going to Wi-Fi, which eventually, let's be honest, something's going to happen eventually. And we have a lot of community groups that meet there. They might want it.
Right. Well,
They might
my
want
only
paper.
thought is, I mean, I know this has been an agenda item for a very long time, so I'm imagining at this point you've got a couple bids, you'll be discussing it with the rec folks.
Well, they already
and they
have
can
that.
take care
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. They have
and
that.
come back to us. But, one of my thoughts is, this is kind of, while we like to be forward-thinking, we want to assume that, some technologies are in our space and some are not, realistically, this is outside of our authority and out of our responsibility.
I don't know.
I mean, if you look at what we have as far as Article X, nothing to do with any technologies outside of the website and GITV.
But the website, everything on the website comes from Wi-Fi. So
It's
not
Wi-Fi is
defined.
the technology that gets
Yeah.
it to you. The
It's not
website is the
defined.
communication branch in which
Well-
goes out, which is more marketing.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess, Lauren, you're our liaison.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, to our next meeting, bring back something from the board that kind of puts that in writing?
Puts
Or-
what in writing? I don't need to,
Well-
it's right here. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Well,
it's Article X, it's already in writing.
No, just hear me out for a second. Essentially, the opinion of the board or the opinion of the attorney, because clearly Kathy is reading it one way and you're reading it.
Yeah.
If we can get a more definitive opinion coming from the board or from the attorney, that would really be helpful, because then it's not an internal.
Interpretation, right.
Lucky you have that with you tonight.
I always have it with me.
That's good. Well, you know what? Let's see. It's just a shame that I always look at it and say, we're Grosse Seal, and should we be the last guys at the block to...
No, we shouldn't, absolutely. I agree with you there, Kathy, absolutely. But I'm looking at things always from a financial standpoint.
No, and I understand
And that, I mean,
Yeah.
when I look at things that are priorities, to me, while for a group of people it might be a priority, holistically overall, we are a very affluent community. Most of the people have Wi-Fi probably already in their houses. There's lots of places to go, so I'm not sure where the demand is. Also, I'm a person who likes to make data-driven decisions, and I don't see any backup data supporting this.
I just look at the competition.
No, I get it. I'm with you, yeah. But you also have to look at those marinas. Those are privately, independently owned and operated marinas. So they are able to increase expenses, whether it's fuel sales, whether it's the cost of beer. It's there's
I
a
know
lot
what
of
you're
things tied
saying.
in there. So
I understand
I'm not
what you're
against
saying.
you on this. It's
No,
just, I struggle with what are we doing here.
I think we
You know what
all
I mean?
struggle because it's coming.
Yeah,
It's and I just keep thinking, do we want to be the last one?
No, we don't. And here, if I can make a recommendation, maybe, after you get this over to the
Yeah,
rec commission and
I will.
everything's, and I get an opinion from the attorney or whatever, let's get the website up. That's a big, huge task. And then after this, we can really dig in and look at some other things to tackle.
Oh, yeah. This dropped in out of, like I said,
Yeah.
the day of Island Fest. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I thought, where did you get my name?
Yeah.
But and I didn't want to drop it, because if somebody's going to offer something for
Right.
free,
Right, free is
we
good.
should pursue it.
Agreed.
But yeah, no, the website's obviously our biggest priority. But that's where we're at, and I'm glad he came.
Well, I think he made it clear to us that one of the bodies we thought we were doing this for is at this point not interested,
Or at least low
or
priority.
at least
Low-
low priority.
yeah.
They have other things that are pressing on them at this time.
Right,
And
well said.
I think bottom line is, as a commission, when we get information or when we get a vision of something that's coming forward, a trend that's happening, it is our job to pass it forward through our liaison
Right.
to the board.
Yep.
But it is, I personally, and that's why I'm asking for a more official opinion, I tend to agree that this is not within our wheelhouse to make a decision on. We collect the information, we can
Sure.
make a great case for it, but we can't make the decision.
No,
It has
right.
to come from somewhere else.
And what I would recommend also, from my own perspective, is as new master plans are being developed, that these sort of things are at least considered and discussed. So,
And I don't know how often. I thought you did a 5-year, because that was 2009, and I remember that. So they're about due.
Right.
And it might be still their lowest priority. But,
Oh
I mean, and that might change, with the age of the commission,
Right.
too.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's all...
Well, and like we said in our discussion, it might change, the technology might actually take the argument away.
Right.
Completely.
We might not even
Absolutely.
need
Yeah.
to think
Let's hope
about
so.
it.
Let's knock on wood,
Yeah,
right?
because, we're still, when you listen to the budget process, they're still in cutting mode. And when they're talking about cutting hours and cutting people,
Yeah.
that's not a time when you're going to start
Adding services,
adding
yeah.
services
Yeah.
like technologies. You're going
Right.
to worry more about
Roads.
cops on the street.
Sewers.
But you also, just, and this is my last statement, because I'm not going to beat a dead horse. If you don't spend money, you don't make money. And you know that.
I know that from a business standpoint.
Yeah, you know that.
From
and
a township.
Well,
person.
it's the same thing. If you have empty slips,
Right.
there's a reason.
Well, let's hope we get a really good director in there and they can approach things from a business standpoint.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, and yes.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, alrighty, that was interesting. Alrighty, we have no more old business, and now that I have that one piece of information, this will be off the agenda next time. The next meeting is September 10th, 2014, at 5 p.m.
Great.
Is that okay with everybody?
Perfect. I really like this format.
I was wondering, I sent out the list of all the updated dates. Yes?
Yeah, got it.
So
Yep.
we all know
Yep.
where we stand, and...
And
do I-
Ted, I imagine that's posted on the website about our upcoming,
I
the
think we
last
put some
few
just in the
meetings
calendar.
for the Communication Commission? Okay.
Okay, and do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
And do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. And we are done at 6:15. Yay.
That's not bad at all, people.
No.
Woohoo.
Well, that was
Ted, I
interesting.
am so excited about a Grosse Ile YouTube channel.
I know, that's going to be... But you've had that. You had it